Hey guys, what is up, and welcome to the NFL Sunday Morning Show. I'm here with my guys, Nikki Stees, James from Steelers by the Week podcast, and Football Talk with Bo. Playoffs are here. Coaches have been fired. Let's talk about it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I gotta ask you this, James. How does it feel that Harbaugh got fired?
We've been talking about that a lot this season, right? Is it going to get stale in Pittsburgh? Is it going to get stale in Baltimore? There was a lot of similarities between the two. It felt to me like it was more about you have way too many weapons on this team to not be making late playoff runs consistently. Yeah. It's not that John Harbaugh isn't a good head coach. He's an excellent head coach. He's like number 6 all time in career wins in the playoffs, for crying out loud. The dude's an excellent head coach.
Wow.
But you've got a 2-time MVP at quarterback. You've got a running back who's one of the best in the entire league, a Pro Bowl wide receiver, a Pro Bowl tight end, a defense who typically is a very good defense. And all that together, you ought to be making playoff runs and winning your division pretty easily. I mean, they were the hands-on favorite to win the division.
Right. I got to tell you something, James. Hold on. Yeah. I got to tell you something. So I created a clip of the Ravens missed kick, right? So here it is right here. So I got it here. Guess how many views this got on Facebook? 124,000. And when you look here, it's all Steelers comments. I'm not even joking. All of them are Steelers comments. Steelers fans.
That's because if that goes through, Tomlin's getting fired.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the kick.
Snap good. Hold it. The kick is no good. It is wide right. And the Steelers are the champions of the North.
A fading kick decided the fate of one of the two coaches.
Yeah. Crazy. So I got to, James, what was going through your mind at that moment? You were like, oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to see it come down to a kick for the other team, but Pittsburgh had no one to blame but themselves for that, with a missed extra point earlier in the game. It did get tipped, so it wasn't just a flat-out miss. But you let yourself be in that situation. So, it sucks, but I've been there a lot over the last few years because they're just not blowing anybody out these days.
All right. Nikki, what was going through your mind on that kick?
First, somebody's fate's on the line, and I was thinking, hey, it's going to deter, number one, and ultimately it happened. Kick was missed. Harbaugh got booted, which, hey, it goes back to what James said about the underachieving that the Ravens have had in recent years. It kind of goes to that Pat Riley, even though that's a different sport mentality of what have you done for me lately? Harbaugh has won a Super Bowl for the Ravens. He's been their best franchise's coach, but lately he's underachieved. With all that talent around him, Lamar, Derrick Henry, and then you got so many others, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, plenty of guys that have passed through. And then what do they have to show for it in the Lamar Jackson era? One conference championship game appearance. So a lot of underachieving. You thought they would have at least maybe made a Super Bowl by now, if not won it, and they haven't even made it. So, yeah, that's underachieving for sure. So it's like, hey, it's just Ravens felt like it's time to move on, get a fresh voice in the locker room, and who says that can't work? Take perfect example, the New England Patriots. Belichick, similar to Harbaugh, the greatest coach in his respective team's history, but they need to move on. The Patriots did, and now they're in a favorable situation playing the Chargers at home today. So who says if the Ravens play their cards right, it could work for them too.
Yeah. And Bo?
I mean, there's a lot of ifs in that, but I mean, striking gold on your next coach is pretty rare. Maybe they can. They got a lot of pieces, no doubt. And it certainly came down to some coaching issues where he kept forgetting to use the running game. We've talked about it a million times on this show, just how frustrating the coaching has been. So for him to get fired, it wasn't a huge shock missing the playoffs. That being said, if they make that kick, we're probably be talking about this the other direction. And I actually wouldn't even rule it out if the Steelers lose today.
Or tomorrow.
Today,
playing tomorrow night. Tomorrow night.
And, I mean, especially if it's a bad loss, like if it's close, whatever. But if they take a bad loss, there's a real chance. So, really crazy, just the coaching landscape this year with the amount of firings. Remember, I made that list of 9 guys that I thought should get fired.
Yeah.
8 of the 9 got fired.
Wow.
Who was the other one? Who was the only one that did not get fired?
Zach Taylor, who should be fired.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the Marvin Lewis saga all over again.
Like it's wild. So here, I'll give it to you. I just sent you the.
There it is. Oh my living God.
And I hadn't updated it yet, but Mike McDaniel got fired. So it's like, I mean, talk about calling it.
Oh yeah.
Well done, Bo.
Yeah, shout out to Bo on this one, man. We're gonna go into this in a second, actually.
I mean, the other thing that's wild about that, I rolled this list out in week 8.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So when I rolled this out, no one had been fired yet.
Week 8, the Ravens probably only had 2 or 3 wins by then, right? They were pretty awful at the beginning of the year.
It's why he was on there, because it's like, you look at this roster. It was a team I picked to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which, clearly that pick worked out.
So, let's go through each of these coaches, man. Let's go through and see where they are going to end up. We're going to predict. Let's see if Bo can actually guess where they're going to go. Let's see that. All right. So the first one was Mike McDaniel, done after 4 seasons. So I'm going to ask you guys, where do you think he's going to end up? Where do you think he's going to go?
What's crazy is he's already had an interview, or is slated to have an interview with the Titans.
Yep.
So for him to still be getting head coaching interviews is actually kind of surprising. I thought he was going to immediately go back to being an OC somewhere to kind of recharge and then get his next shot. But I wouldn't rule out that he gets another shot here, just because he did kind of maximize some of the situations based on the amount of injuries that team had and the fact that his GM never wanted to give him a defense. So I wouldn't be completely surprised. It'll be a bad situation wherever he goes. Like, he's not going to get one of the coveted spots. He's going to get, the Titans or the Raiders, or, a job that it's going to take some time to get him up to speed. He's not going to get the Atlanta or New York or, ones that a couple of pieces and you're at least competitive.
Mm-hmm. So next up, Nikki, what about you?
Honestly, I don't see why he would be getting opportunities realistically, because you look at what Miami had around him. That first offseason after he got hired, they went in. They got a good roster around them, most notably the Tyreek Hill signing. And with that talent, and of course, Jalen Ramsey for a period of time, Waddle, so many different guys, they underachieved for what they had, only making the playoffs twice and getting bounced in the opening round and having 2 other seasons where they didn't even make it. They drastically underachieved with that talent they had. So I don't see why you'd want to bring Mike McDaniel, especially to a team that may not have the same talent. He struggled with, on paper, one of the best rosters in the AFC to even get to the playoffs. Why do you think he's going to do any better with less talent around him?
Right.
See Buddy Ryan when he went that 1 year with the Cardinals. He did it with a less roster, and they were awful.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So where do you think he's going to end up, Nikki?
I'm trying to think who would be foolish enough to potentially hire him as a head coach.
Right.
I could see the Raiders taking the bait on him. Maybe the Falcons maybe take the bait. Maybe the Browns even. And they did it with Mangini all those years ago.
True. All right.
Yeah, honestly, he probably doesn't end up as a head coach. He's probably an OC.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go. But James, what about you, man?
Yeah, I agree with you guys there. If he takes the move to OC, he's gonna show his strengths. He's a really good offensive mind. What I like about him is that the team rallied around him after the GM was fired. So you do have buy-in from the players from a guy like this. So that's good. You don't ever want to have a head coach where your team quits on you. And I honestly think he got the most out of Tua that anybody could have, because Tua was never really that great of a quarterback. And there were moments where he looked like he was a really incredible guy. So with that in mind, honestly, I don't want to see it, but I think it would be a smart move on their part. I think the Ravens should look at him, because what you're having is an issue with offensive execution and not being creative enough with some incredible weaponry on that offensive team. Why not bring in an offensive mastermind like McDaniel to run the ship? I mean, he's not going to help you out on defense any, but I guarantee you're going to see more creative stuff on offense. And I don't want to see it. I don't want that in my division, man.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wait, what?
Send them somewhere else. But I think it'd be a good fit for if you're trying to maximize what you can get out of Lamar Jackson. Now, that's a massive upgrade for McDaniel over what he was dealing with Tua. I think he could find ways to really get that offense clicking in Baltimore.
Yeah. So shout out to my friend Mark. He does the solution breakdown here on the Hardcore Sports Network. Shout out to him. He said the Detroit Lions with Jared Goff, because he's done everything he could with Tua, and Tua now is pretty much going to be like done. So why not have him work out with the Lions at Goff? I feel like that would be interesting. That would be a good one. Him as the offensive coordinator over there. What do you guys think about that, the Detroit Lions?
I mean, it'd be a good fit for them. I mean, they're kind of grasping at straws of what to do next. So, I mean, he would definitely help them out. Plus, he does some of the stuff that Dan likes, right? Like he does do fourth downs. He does a lot of those elements that Dan likes to do. They get there differently, right? He's more the analytic, and obviously Campbell is just like, the hell with it, we're going, and the result's the same, so it could work out. I'm actually surprised you didn't mention your Eagles in that conversation.
I was gonna say that, but I'm waiting for my guy to be out first, and then I'll be like, okay. But either way, he's gonna be out. So I was gonna say the Eagles. That was gonna be one of mine, but I wanted to go someplace different.
Well, all right.
Yeah, my headset just decided to go power off. I'm like, what? Just like randomly. I hate when that happens. I gotta get that fixed. So next up, Harbaugh. We kind of talked about this already, but where do you guys see Harbaugh going?
This one's easy because he is absolutely getting a head coach job. And I'm going to go with there's only 3 places he probably ends up. He's going to go to the Giants, because the Giants is probably the most attractive of the jobs, because they have a bunch of talent on the team. They got a top 5 pick, and the only team they have to worry about in that division is the Eagles, because the Cowboys get in their own way, and Washington became the oldest team in the league. So they're going to have some struggles moving forward. So if you wanted a team that has a bunch of pieces, has some draft capital, and you can turn around right away, that would be it. Atlanta has a similar situation because that division is hot trash. And now Miami is a potential, right? But I think the Giants probably makes the most sense. Giants or Atlanta.
All right. James, what about
The
you?
Browns.
Yeah, Vic said the Browns.
That right there is the least likely position, because that is a legacy killing location. There's no way he does that.
Yeah, he gets to go wherever he wants. Let's be real.
Yeah.
The whole reason Miami fired Mike McDaniel is because John Harbaugh became available.
Yep.
I don't think they were planning on doing that, and then they saw him and said, "Oh, whoa, this is an upgrade." That makes a ton of sense going to Miami, but in the end, it's wherever Harbaugh's most comfortable with, because I truly think he's going to be option number one for every team that needs a head coach right now. And he should be. He should be. He's that good.
Yeah. So you go with Miami, James?
Yeah, I'd say Miami, just because honestly, I really think that's the only reason they fired Mike McDaniel is because they wanted Harbaugh. So I think they'll probably do everything they can to bring him down there and throw all kinds of money at him. And it's not the worst situation in the world. You got some definite rebuilding to do down there, but at least the weather's nice.
Yeah. Nikki, what about you? Where's Harbaugh going to go?
And that would probably be a nice paycheck to enjoy that warm weather, but
you get to keep all your money because of no state income tax.
Yep.
I could see realistically the most lucrative option would be the Giants when you look at what they have. It seems most probably just, which for us as Eagles fans would give us some competition, but when you look at it, it makes sense. You got Jackson Dart. Your hope Cam Scatterbo can come back and at least be a portion of what he was looking like he was going to be before the injury. And you still got some decent wide receivers as long as they stay healthy in a top 5 pick. There's a lot of potential future upside for them. And it would make sense to bring in a guy who's a former Super Bowl winning coach for a team that hasn't done much over the past decade except 2 playoff runs. And it would make sense. Bring them in and do something to rebuild. I could see that being an option. Miami would be a bit of an interesting option. I could see a guy like Harbaugh being a step up from Mike McDaniel. But those are like the 2 realistic options I could see, because the Raiders would just be.
That was mine.
It's possible, but what do they really have to work with? At least the Giants and Dolphins at least have a little bit of something for Harbaugh to work with.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say this, right? The Raiders have the number 1 overall pick. They're gonna get Mendoza pretty much. 2, they have Brock Bowers, who's arguably one of the best young tight ends in the league right now. He could be the top tight end when it's all said and done. 3, when you have Genti, one of the bright young running backs there, and then 4, you have Tom Brady. You have Tom Brady, and believe me, I trust him more than anyone in the Giants front office. So,
yeah, but is Tom Brady really going to be good as an executive, or is he the Michael Jordan of the NFL in terms of being executive? We don't know yet.
I think he's going to be better than Michael Jordan, honestly, because Brady has more. What is the word I'm thinking of? I just feel like he's got more of a common mind for the game, and I really feel like they're going to give him a lot more say. And honestly, when Brady calls you, you might want to pick up the damn phone. So I might go with the Raiders there. And I know his brother is the coach of the Chargers. We get that matchup twice a year. I would love that. Brotherly rivalry, I'll take it.
I think there is I think he runs into a conflict of interest issue with his broadcast career to be able to be heavily involved. You know, it was a conversation that happened before he was even able to take the stage at his, broadcasting job. So I think some of that might get in the way. So he may not be able to be quite as involved as you might think just because of that.
Yeah. They still got a Brock Bowers. Would you guys take Brock Bowers or Neighbors? Who would you guys take if you guys had to pick?
Based on it, so here's the thing: is you want to come in and you want to show the league that you shouldn't have been fired, right?
Right.
So you're going to do that in one of the 2 divisions that have an easier path forward and have a lot of pieces already on the team, or you're going to go to one of the most difficult divisions in the league that really doesn't have a lot going for it. Yeah, they have the number 1 pick. What that means is you don't have your quarterback figured out, which means you got a rookie quarterback. Next year, you're not doing anything, right? The other 2 at least have established quarterbacks, whether you like them or not, they're effective. And then they have pieces all over the roster that were mismanaged by the previous coaching. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that the other 2 franchises you can move forward really quickly. Whereas the Raiders, they're going to take some time. And which is probably one of the main reasons Carroll didn't get another year is you're looking at this roster like, okay, we have to actually build this thing. This is going to be a few year rebuild. That's probably not in line with a guy that's 74, right? So I think that had a lot to do with Carroll not getting another one, is how badly they performed and how far away they look like from even being competitive in their own division. So if you're Harbaugh, you want to step into a bad situation where you're probably going to get smoked most of the time next year. I mean, I don't know if you want to do that.
I mean, you still have Geno Smith. He's still arguably one of the most paid quarterbacks there. And didn't the Giants say they were going to draft another quarterback? I mean, I just don't trust that front office. I really don't.
Well, so the thing with Harbaugh is it sounds like he wants to have control of personnel. And if that's the case, then he's eliminating the front office.
Yeah.
Which, fair enough.
Hey, can you imagine if Harbaugh actually goes to the Cardinals? Could you imagine that if he goes to like one of these other teams?
That is not an attractive job at all.
No,
it's not. That's the thing. It'll be like out of the blue, be like, I'm going to the Cardinals.
That's another one where you're stepping into this year, the hardest division in the league, and you're going against, some of the best coaching, and you have the least amount of weapons, especially because now you have a Kyler Murray that may or may not play in the league again.
Right.
So, yeah, no, exactly, Donna.
Yeah, and actually, Donna says, "Hey, Nikki, you're in the kitchen. Pass some more coffee my way."
I know. I was thinking the same thing because I just finished the last sip of mine. My coffee's all the way upstairs. My dog isn't good at actually bringing me stuff.
Nikki, do you have any coffee in your kitchen?
Not. I would have to make it.
See, mine's even made. It's just right over there.
Yeah. We don't do you guys have anything to say about these ones right here? No, I got nothing to say about these. Honestly, we kind of already did talk about the Raiders. We're making fun of the Browns.
So Damian, there's no way he's taking an OC job. He has the best head coaching jobs available to him. So there's no way he's taking that. He's certainly not going to go to a team that the entire roster is aging out, right? Like they were the oldest team in the league this year. So there's no way they're going to go that route.
Dumb comments, Damian. Always comes in with the dumb comments every single day. So shout out to him. Dumb comments, Damian. Anyways, let's just get right to the playoffs, man. I'm more excited about talking about these games last night.
Yes.
The Rams defeated the Panthers, which comes down to the last drive by Matthew Stafford. So, James, how'd you feel about that game last night?
Oh, how exciting, man. Come down to the final moments with that catch by the tight end Parkinson there to keep his feet in bounds and stretch it over. You just felt like up until the end, both teams were in it. I couldn't tell you how many times watching the end of that game I saw Bryce Young throw a pass and I was like, what is he doing? And then the bottom would drop out of it and it would just fall perfectly right in the hands of the receiver. And you're like, oh my God, okay, this kid's got some incredible touch. I just haven't watched enough of him this year to see those throws, but those were definitely there last night. So I was impressed with him. He's really made a turnaround in his career from looking like he was a first-round bust, getting benched, getting a second chance, and he's taking full advantage of it. So it's exciting to see what Carolina can do in future years. And the Rams really got the test put to them in the first round here. They were one of the favorites coming into the playoffs. They withstood a very difficult test. They're going to have to play better football than that to get further into the playoffs. Because as good as Carolina played in this game, they were not a top team coming into the playoffs here. So if anybody's going to take the Rams serious as a contender getting into the Super Bowl, they're going to have to up their game another notch from that.
Mm-hmm. Bo?
Yeah, I mean, it was a game the Rams could have put away early, right? And they kind of got in their own way a little bit. It was kind of the game that I was thinking, although it got there a little bit different. I thought Carolina would cover. I didn't like the 10.5-point spread. I thought that they would be in this game with position to upset, and then the Rams would win. Yeah, I mean, it became an interesting game because the first half was pretty rough, but the second half made it at least kind of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Nikki.
I mean, I'll say this. I will toot my own horn and say, I told you that the 10-point spread was too high. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
And which is actually a good thing because this ended up being an exciting game when it all came to it. Early on, it looked like the Rams were going to wipe the floor with them, but then Panthers did make it competitive going into the half. It's like, all right, we're going to have a game here. And it looked like for a minute the Panthers were going to upset the Rams again because they did so earlier in the season. And remember, 2003, Steve Smith Sr., double overtime. But the Rams came back, had that game-winning drive by Stafford, one of the kings of the 2-minute drill. And the Panthers they put up a nice run. I give them that. Even Bryce Young earned the respect of some of the Rams players post-game. So it's like, Bryce Young, I'm still I think he's a solid QB, but he at least showed he at least has something in this game. It's just he's not the most consistent guy in the world. But to be fair, the Panthers have been in a deep rebuild. They not exactly the most talented team in the world, but the fact that they were able to make it this far is pretty impressive. And that defense was pretty underrated too. We even saw here Mike Jackson got a pick in this game.
You know, that's a guy I wish Seattle wouldn't have got rid of. Every time we had him start, he played exceptionally well. And we never had the issue with him that we've had with like Woolen, where he doesn't necessarily always want to tackle people, which seems weird for a corner. It's like kind of part of the job, but whatever. I always liked Mike Jackson. And so I was really hoping we were going to keep him. And then the way they let him go, when we played Carolina, he had a day, right? He had something to prove against Seattle. So, I mean, and he's had a great year just overall.
That would have been funny. You could have had Mike Jackson and Kobe Bryant.
We did.
We did. Oh, dude.
Though, congrats to the Rams. I had a feeling they'd win because they're the more experienced team in these situations, and that's mainly what it boiled down to in the end. So,
yeah.
But considering how weak the NFC South is, it could be a building block for the Panthers going forward. Maybe next year they actually do better and actually win 9 or more games and win the division, but we still got to wait and see what they do in the offseason, what their schedule looks like, can they stay healthy? But there is potential for the Panthers to get better going forward.
You know what's funny about the losing record winning the division is it's happened 5 times now. 3 of them are the South. Twice by Carolina, and once by Tampa Bay.
Didn't you do it once? Didn't Seattle do it once
so
too?
We were the first team to do it. And
right.
So when we did it, we won our wild card game, and that's where the Beastquake came out. Because we beat a Saints team that everybody thought was going to go win the Super Bowl, and we knocked them off in that first wild card game. The next team to do it was Carolina, and Carolina won theirs. The next 3, however, did not win their wild card games.
Right. So for me,
Ryan Lindley.
So for me, the first thing I got to say is the Panthers had the strangest season. Like they started off bad, then they went up, then they went down. They're in the playoffs now, and they're out. Like, wow, what a good year for Carolina. Like seriously, what a good year for them. I don't think any of us had them winning their division, did we? I don't even think so.
No. I'll say this, the roller coaster element of their season's the most fun aspect of having a team under 500 make the playoffs. So at least they made it interesting road to the playoffs somewhat.
Well, you knew that they were going to have a chance, right? Because during the season, they beat the Rams. They had a couple of nice wins, and then they get swept by the Saints, where you're just like, okay, so we have no idea what this team's going to do.
Still trying to figure that one out. Did someone go into Madden and force the Saints to win both times?
Exactly.
Yeah, like West Coast says, I like Bryce Young's innocence. of excitement. Yeah, because oh my god! But hey, congrats to the Rams. They moved on. Matthew Stafford is 37 years old. He's gonna win MVP at 37.
You know, the other thing that was kind of crazy about that is that was his 50th come from behind game winner. And then you remember, oh, that's right, he played for Detroit.
Oh yeah, he had Megatron. He had that, and
well,
yeah,
it's just their defense was so bad they were always playing from behind. So
yeah,
like every time they won was a come from behind victory.
All right. We're going to spend a lot of time on this game, guys. The Bears defeating the Packers. The Packers defense let up, 25 points in how many points in the fourth quarter they let up? That was just crazy. I'm going to start off with Bo on this one, man. Bears defeating the Packers.
So I had the Bears winning this one.
I did too.
But the caveat that I had for it was they'll be fine as long as they can overcome adversity in this game and, not get in their head of history where they're like, the Packers always beat us. And I mean, amazingly, they showed great resolve to be able to come back really in the fourth quarter because they weren't doing anything until then. And then Green Bay, on the other hand, really couldn't get a rhythm. Dennis Allen's defense really stepped it up. Now, I wouldn't go as far as what they were talking about in the broadcast when they're like, oh, they're looking like the 85 Bears defense now. Y'all were smoking something if you think that was true, but they were playing incredible defense there in the fourth quarter, really in the second half as a whole. And it allowed them to get back in this thing. So it was impressive. It was impressive for them to come back and win. The other stat that I saw that was crazy is not only was it the biggest deficit of a playoff game that the Bears have ever come back from, but anything more than, I think it was 5 points, was like 1933, which is nuts.
Wow.
This has been a minute.
And here's another thing too. All season there was like games for the Packers where they were blowing leads. They tied to the Cowboys in the first game of the year.
Yep.
That was destined to be bad luck, and look what happened now. That was destined to be bad luck. So, James, how did you feel about the game last night?
Yeah, it was a fun game. I got to watch it with a bunch of rowdy Bears fans. So the mood at halftime was not the same as the mood at the end of the game. That's for sure. But yeah, it to me, it was a lot of over aggressive coaching by Ben Johnson in the first half. They kept on going for it on fourth down, even when it was 4th and 4 in their own like 30, 35 yard line. They're going for it on fourth and not even 4th and 1, and we're going to jam it up the middle and get that 1 yard because the Bears do have a very good rushing game. You can rely on that team to run the ball and get that 1 yard when you need it. But they didn't do that on any of the fourth down conversion attempts. They kept on getting too cute and creative and, end arounds and reverses and trying to throw it with the tight end and just some crazy, crazy calls that were unnecessary risks that put them in that big hole. I think if they run this game a little bit more conservative in the first half and not so aggressive on fourth down, you don't give the Packers so many short fields and end up down by such a large lead at halftime. It was nice to see the corrections in the second half, see the Bears get that offense moving again because they're capable. They have the weapons. When they're clicking on all cylinders and you have Ben Johnson calling the plays, boy, that's something to be reckoned with there. So we'll see if they're able to get going a little faster next week or not, because I don't think this is sustainable. This has been kind of the MO for the Bears a large portion of this season, is not playing well early on and then playing well in the third and fourth quarter and pulling off the win. You can't do that against top talent and expect to win. Right. Can you do that against the Packers defense? Yes, they've been awful this year, especially since Micah Parsons went out with a knee injury. It's just not been a good defense ever since he's been hurt. But I wouldn't expect to be able to pull that off against like Seattle and San Francisco and the Rams. That's not going to happen. So you better come with four quarters of football against those teams.
Mm-hmm. Nikki.
Hey, I love this game. Well, first off, for the Bears, let's start both teams. The Bears, number 1, to Bo's point, great mental fortitude, because that was an easy situation for the Bears to mentally concede when they were down, especially after that pick late in the third quarter. That could have been an easy, oh, here we go again. We just can't beat this team. It's real easy to mentally concede in that situation. But to the Bears' credit, even when it looked like, oh, this team just can't score on them, they got all the way that far only to throw a pick, they didn't. The Bears defense stepped up, and then when the Bears offense took the field, they did a complete 180 and put all the struggles behind them and did what they needed to get the W. And that goes to show you the difference between Ben Johnson and Matt Eberflus or Matt Nagy or John Fox or whoever else you can think of. And for the Packers, this game is very reminiscent of their season. Great start with a ton of promise. Only in December, the Packers came crashing back down, just like they did in the fourth quarter, and ultimately they're done, just like their season. So very symbolic from the Packers' point of view and very fitting of what their season ended up being. And I'll say this. Matt LaFleur is lucky there's a 7th seed, or else he may have been axed by now.
Yeah, right. I'm actually glad.
Years without making the playoffs. So he kind of got lucky in that regard. And he really got lucky they beat Dallas, because that may have been the other thing that saved him too.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually glad
there's still a chance that he gets fired, because that's a bad loss. For you to give up 25 points in the fourth quarter, a situation where they've talked about him being on the hot seat anyway at times, for you to come into the playoffs, now granted you snuck in, but still you're in, and then to have a good lead fall apart there. Those are the types of things that can get you fired.
Yeah. So I'm actually glad you brought up, LaFleur, because we have our Packers fan who actually streamed the game last night, and this is his reaction to it. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Got no.
Can't hear it? Okay, never mind. So what the point I was trying to make is that he is done with the, LaFleur. He's like, wants him gone now. Is that actually going to happen after the year? I doubt it. I don't think he's going to get fired. It will be hilarious if he does. Add another one to the coaching list. Bo, did you get that one right?
So I didn't actually have him getting fired this year.
Right.
I don't think he's done a bad enough job, because his coaching style has worked, right? You're in a tough division there, and he's also had a quarterback that's gotten banged up. He's found ways to win with the backup. Malik Willis looked great while he was playing.
Yeah, he did.
So I don't think he ultimately gets fired this year. Will there be a conversation? Does he lose some of his staff potentially? Kind of like Todd Bowles. They just fired everyone under him and said, you better figure it out this next year. So I think he might end up with a situation more like that, but I don't think he gets fired this time, especially because there's so many other openings.
Yeah.
It'll be hard to get the coach you want when there's 9 other jobs currently open.
I love what Cap said. LaFleur won't get fired, but he can get traded. I forget who's the last coach that got traded in NFL. Wasn't it Sean Payton?
Yeah, there was a draft pick for Peyton. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it was a first round pick too. So it wasn't. And they did the same thing for Belichick, as I recall. So yeah. It's. It happens. I don't think anybody's trading for LaFleur.
No, I wouldn't trade for him at all. No.
Yeah.
No, James, is he going to get fired?
No, I don't think so. I kind of feel like it's a little bit rare for a team to make it to the playoffs and then have their head coach get fired. Is the possibility there? Absolutely. But it goes a lot into your track record in the previous years. So, Nikki was talking about no success in the last 4 years. That is enough for a fan base to start getting rowdy. I would know we're looking at 8 years without a playoff win in Pittsburgh. So that's the kind of thing that if you don't fix it, that fan base gets real sick and tired of it, and they get real loud. And sometimes teams make decisions that they didn't want to make otherwise because the fan base is just too irritated to continue seeing the same product march out there. So, yeah, you got to get your wins. If he's not fired, it's a hot seat now.
Yep. All right. Before we get into tonight's game, let's go into trivia. Which quarterback threw for 500 yards in a wild card game? James, you might be able to get this.
Is that Ben Roethlisberger in the loss to the Jaguars?
Yeah, 2014.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys lost that game? I don't remember that.
Yeah, I think it was a loss. Yeah.
Damn. I forgot all about that. 500?
Yeah, they tried hard to lose that game, actually.
Oh, wow. I really don't remember that. Second one. Which team has 4 straight Super Bowl straight Super Bowls, but won most wild card games during that run?
Wait, say that again?
Which team lost 4 straight Super Bowls, but won wild card games during that run?
Buffalo Bills.
The Bills, right? Because they're the only team that ever did.
Yeah. I did not put that in there.
I appreciate, an underhand pitch here and there.
Yeah, I had to. And then which team blew a 27-0 wild card lead?
27-0 wild card lead.
Yep. It was actually, the team was in the AFC. I'm going to say that. The team is in the AFC. I'll give another hint. Same division as the Raiders.
Oh, I was going the other route. I was thinking, was it one of the times the Jets made it?
No, it was actually the Chargers against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, actually, because the Chargers had some of the most epic meltdowns in the playoffs.
Yeah. Not an easy one. All right, let's get into the games. The first game up, the Bills and the Jaguars. Nikki, I'm going to start with you, man. How do you feel about this game? The first one out of the 4 games. Obviously, the Monday night game.
This is a fun matchup. I mean, really, I look at all the games. All these games could potentially be competitive games, especially this year because the playoffs are so wide open. You don't have a true cut favorite. Anything could happen. Jaguars, Bills, a perfect example. Buffalo's going to be the favorite by default because they have more experience in the situation. But
the line moved last night.
Okay,
really?
Yeah, the Bills were a 1-point favorite, and now the Jags are a 1-point favorite at home. So the line has moved.
Why? Has there been an injury or something? Or
no? So the lines move based on how people are betting.
Yeah.
And so it means that people are betting up the Jags.
Yep.
So if enough people bet up the Jags, then the line will start to move.
Never knew that, but wow.
Okay, that's going to be a fun game. You got the top run team in the Bills versus the top run defense in the Jaguars. That's going to be a fun matchup. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, you got, the Jaguars offense, which going against Buffalo's defense, that could favor. It's all going to depend on how Buffalo runs. If they can run efficiently, this could be a high-scoring game. But if they don't run efficiently and the Jaguars are able to pass against that Bills some secondary and they expose them back to early season form, this could be a Jaguars victory.
Okay.
But I do think the Jags got a pretty good shot at possibly winning this game.
All right. James.
Well, to me, sometimes games like this come down more to weather and what that do for offenses and their capabilities. We're looking at 63 degrees down in Jacksonville at kickoff. I think that bodes well for teams being able to air it out. So I'm going to go Bills in this because I think that Josh Allen kind of lights them up a little bit here. But I think it'll be close. We should have a pretty interesting match there and kind of keep the theme from yesterday of close games and back and forth and lots of points. And that's when playoff football is fun, but I'll take the Bills on it.
All right. Bo.
Yeah. So I'm with James here. The over under a 51.5. I'm probably taking the over here. I think that we're going to see some points. The one thing about the Bills defense is because they were so bad at the beginning of the year, we just assumed that they're a bad defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have the number 1 pass defense in the league. And they're 7th as far as total yards given up. Now, they are next to last when it comes to rush defense. But you know what the Jags can't do is run the ball. So this is going to be I do think this is going to be a great game. Should be highly competitive. I do like the Bills here on the road. I just keep waiting for Trevor Lawrence to turn back into a pumpkin and turn the ball over a bunch. And I think this is a defense that could make that happen.
I'm going to be with Bo on that one as well. I've always clowned on Trevor Lawrence. I've always called him the Bo Callahan. If you guys seen NFL Draft Day, I've always called him Bo Callahan. But I'm waiting for this game, and I think Buffalo's defense can do it. So hopefully he becomes Bo Callahan again, because I kind of miss that. So honestly, I still feel like he's the most overrated quarterback in football. I don't know about you guys, if you guys agree with me there, but that's just my take on that. Is he the most overrated quarterback in the NFL? Trevor Lawrence, or
I mean, he's in the conversation. I don't know if he's the most, though.
I think he is. Like, what?
I think he's real inconsistent, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I think the skill level is there. He just can't put it together on a regular basis. You want the most overrated quarterback in the NFL? Look at Cleveland. Shedeur Sanders has 8 touchdowns and 10 picks, and half of the people out there are talking about him like he's the second coming of Lamar Jackson or something. It's incredible what people are talking as if he's some awesome quarterback.
I on that front, I love the fact that they're like, he's so much better than Dylan Gabriel, and you look at the stats and they're almost identical. He just has way more interceptions. You're just like, I feel like math matters sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Philly halftime stopping by just in time.
Yeah, so Nikki, is Trevor Lawrence in that conversation for one of the most overrated quarterbacks?
He's one of them, though. You could also look at other guys, maybe say Tua to a certain extent. Jordan Love's another guy consider overrated.
Yeah, I actually like that all the guys making $55 million that have won 0 playoff games, they're probably in that conversation. Trevor Lawrence, the 1 playoff game he won. But yeah, I mean, all these guys have like snuck in and then didn't do anything. So, I mean, you got a handful of guys all making $55 million a year that have done nothing to prove that they should make $55 million a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And Nikki, now is the time to talk about our Eagles against the 49ers. So I'm going to let them go first, and then we'll go after. So, James, Niners at the Eagles.
I think home field advantage plays a card in this. Warm weather teams having to come and play in a cold environment in January just doesn't always work out so well for them. So I'm going to ride with your Eagles on this one. I think they've got the advantage there. That defense has to come and play. They have to get lots of pressure on Purdy. Don't give him time to dance around in the pocket like he had the last couple of weeks. The last thing we want to hear is Chris Collinsworth going off on how he thinks Brock Purdy's the next coming of Pat Mahomes again. So get after him and get him on the ground, and you won't have to hear Collinsworth talk about that. So if there's a defense can get that pressure, the Eagles are definitely a high-octane defense with a lot of depth. Keep that rotation going, get those backups in there, keep people fresh, and I think the Eagles can come away with a win.
All right, Bo.
Yeah, so I was trying to see if there was some new injuries because the line for this game has ballooned a ton. Eagles opened it as a 3.5-point favorite. Overnight, it is now a 6-point favorite at home. So I was trying to see if somebody got injured or not. I still think the Niners upset here, though. They have found a way to keep winning games despite the crazy amount of injuries they've had all year. And they do have some guys coming back. The big thing for you guys is Jalen Carter is still questionable, and that game is not that far away with a hip injury, which at his position is not great, right? That's not something you want to see. If it was a knee or an ankle, you're like, cool, throw a brace on it, whatever. You being able to kind of maneuver your hips around is a key element for his position. So I'll be curious to see how effective he can be if he plays. I do think the Niners come in and steal this win.
Okay. Nikki, go with you, and then I'm last.
Yeah, I think for the Eagles, it's all because I say this: the defense, I know they're capable of getting pressure and slowing down the Niners' offense. It's really a matter of are they going to do it? My biggest question is, can the offensive play calling be in sync enough for this offense to at least be just even a tad bit better than what they've been? Like, are they going to consistently run with Saquon under center? Because I've noticed all season when the Eagles would run with Saquon under center opposed to under shotgun, Saquon runs better under center than he does under shotgun.
Yeah.
But can they can they actually get the run game going the right way and potentially open up holes in the passing game? That's the question right there. Because I know the defense is capable, but I feel like the offense is going to be the X factor. Because even if the defense goes out, has a good game, if the offense can't move the ball, you might be talking a situation like the Dallas or even the Buffalo game. The defense starts to get fatigued late, and all of a sudden the 49ers offense starts moving in the fourth quarter on them, or like the Broncos did.
God damn, Blaze Alexander, that's animal cruelty. God damn.
Oh my gosh.
But for me, and then we're gonna go to Philly halftime question after this. But for me, huh?
Sorry, just responding to people.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I was like, what the? So for me, it comes down to the offensive coordinator, obviously, Kevin Patullo. I mean, you can't have Saquon Barkley run up the middle, deep ball to AJ Brown, and then punt. You can't do that. This defense has been bailing Jalen Hurts out left and right. I mean, this defense is tremendous. I've been hearing comparisons to the '85 Bears, and I'm like, okay, maybe slow it down there. But with this defense, I feel more confident getting this win. So, and then halftime came in. And he said, "What was it, Brock Purdy? Why do they think Brock Purdy is so good? He's really is not that good."
So here's the thing.
Yeah,
he's not amazing, right? Like he's not a Joe Burrow, Josh Allen elite talent, right? But he is a intelligent, highly efficient deliverer of the football, right? So outside of their matchup with Seattle, which, division matchup, they beat each other up. It's just part of it, right? Plus you're looking at Seattle that has the number one defense. So, you would expect them to slow down. But if you look at the games leading up to that, they're putting up between 30 and 40 points a game. So you can discount them all you want, but the Eagles defense isn't awesome, right? Like it's a top 10 defense mostly, not against the run, which pretty sure there's a CMC guy on the other side that might be a problem. But you guys are good at keeping people from scoring points, but it's not necessarily a good defense overall. And then your offense is wildly inconsistent. So I think your offense is going to look better because they don't have a pass rush at all, right? But for people to be clowning on Brock at this point, I mean, I don't know how much more you want him to do. He's in the playoffs all the time. He's gotten to a Super Bowl. I mean, they probably win that one if he doesn't get hurt. I mean, right. So it's and I'm not a Purdy apologist. It's just one of those, like, I don't know how much you want him to do. That's like people still saying Lamar is a running back. It's like, do you watch film? Like, he's one of the efficient passers in the league now. So, like, sometimes you can actually watch games and let your opinion evolve because you have new information.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't always good at throwing the ball early on in his career, but he is now. So we got to give him credit. He has evolved as a passer. He's a very good one now.
Absolutely.
All right. So for me, I got the Eagles winning, of course. But Chargers at the Patriots. This game is kind of interesting right there. Nikki back? Nikki, you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
All right, I'm going to kick it off for you, man. Chargers at the Patriots.
I got the Patriots winning this one. It mainly comes down to two factors. The Chargers playoff jinx, and secondly, it's in Foxborough where the weather's colder. That favors the Patriots. And we were talking about a Chargers team that on one hand, they deserve a ton of credit for making it with barely an offensive line throughout the season. Justin Herbert only getting a minor injury in his non-throwing hand. That's pretty impressive right there. Along with the breakout of Vital as a viable option at running back with really no offensive line. But now you got to go into the playoffs against a hot New England Patriots team on the road in the cold where you're used to playing in a dome in California. That makes the matchup even tougher. So I got the Patriots winning this one, especially not only that, but Foxborough is just a tough place to play. Kind of a home field advantage for the Patriots. And so I like their odds in this one, especially with we've seen Drake May's had an MVP-like season. Granted, it's his first playoff game, but the odds of that continuing are high in this one. You got a pretty good 1-2 duo. Hunter Henry's still the top weapon. All around, I like the Patriots' odds in this one better. So give me them to get the win and move on.
All right, James.
Yeah, I'm with Nikki on this one. I think the Patriots take this. I honestly don't think it's going to be a close game. I think of all the games this weekend, this is the one that has the opportunity to be the ugliest one. But it's more my faith in Mike Vrabel as a coach. If he's anything, he's a very smart defensive-minded player who creative enough to have scored a lot of touchdowns in his career as a receiving tight end and goal line. But I just think that he's way too smart to not take advantage of the mismatch between his pass rushers and the lack of offensive linemen that are healthy in this game for the Chargers. Over and over, they've been able to mask this issue, get the ball out quickly, and have it not be as much of an issue. If anybody can match this up and make it a big issue for him, it is Mike Vrabel. And honestly, Drake May's having one hell of a season. So I think that the playoff run starts here for Drake, and he starts kind of cementing himself as the quarterback that really needs to be taken seriously. He did through the regular season, but you got to do it in the postseason too. And I just feel like the Patriots are just a little more poised to make this playoff run here than the Chargers. So I don't really have any faith that the Chargers are going to pull it off.
Right. Bo.
Yeah, I'm kind of echoing that sentiment. Like I don't believe in the Chargers to be able to sustain this. Now, when we're talking about the Patriots, obviously they had the easiest schedule in the league, so we don't really know. They're not heavily battle tested, right? But at the same time, the Chargers have the 28th ranked schedule also. So neither one of these teams have been really battle tested. We're going to learn a lot about either one of these teams, going into this game. The fact that it's a home game for the Patriots, I like them to get it done at home.
So Big C is probably rooting against the Chargers here. I'm pretty sure there. He called the Patriots the most overrated team in NFL right now. So based on their schedule. So with that, I'm going with the Chargers. Okay. I'm kidding. I'm going with the Patriots. I'm kidding. I'm going with the Patriots there. I said that wrong. But Big C, I'm going with the Patriots here. So I need more viral clips from you. So create another viral clip, and I got it. So it got 3,000 views on TikTok. Him saying that.
Nice.
Patriots overrated. So I need another one. Big C, I need another one, man. All right. Last game. Bo, I'm going to start off with you on this one. Texans, Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers don't do anything particularly well. And so this is one where I like the Texans to get this done on the road. You're talking about the number 2 defense in the league. The offense, yeah, they get DK back. Is there going to be some rust? Tough to say. The Texans do have an opportunistic defense. DK doesn't necessarily run the cleanest routes. So there's going to be some opportunity there. And then at the same time, you have the most expensive defense in the league that doesn't seem to like to stop people. So you can't be bad at offense and bad at defense and then expect to do a lot in postseason. The offense for the Texans has gotten better as the season has gone on. I think they're riding an 8-game win streak, something like that. So it's I feel like this one has the potential to get out of hand. This is the one where I think there could be a blowout. Now, obviously, the X factor for The Steelers is the fact that Aaron Rodgers has been in a million playoff games, and you know that he'll be calm and collected and, ready to rock. I think the Texans are probably just a little too much for him.
All right, James.
Obviously, this is the one that has my most attention of all the games this week. It's a daunting task for Pittsburgh, right? They have not done well in the playoffs for a long time now. And this defense is an incredible defense for the Houston Texans. So Pittsburgh needs to show up with a run defense. On certain weeks, on certain matchups, their run defense has just shut down some of the best running offenses in the entire NFL. And then the next week, it's not the same at all. So if they're able to do that and make this team one-dimensional and keep both safeties back, then you have a chance at slowing down the passing offense of the Houston Texans, which is the most dangerous part of this offense. The question is, can they move the ball at all on offense? So I completely understand the skepticism because Pittsburgh hasn't been consistent this year. So they really haven't given people a reason to have faith in them. What do they have going for them? Mike Tomlin's never lost a home game on a Monday night in his entire career. The Steelers have not lost a Monday night football game at home since 1991. So there are some things that they have going for them.
Crazy. What?
It is. But, a lot of that goes to the coaches. You've got guys that have been amping their team up and making sure they're prepared for games when they are in the biggest spotlight, and that's exactly what's going on here. That being said, the last 6 weeks in a row, I have picked against the winner of the game.
I forgot you're the bad luck.
I am the intention.
I was going to say, I'm like, wait.
When they won 3 in a row, I picked the opposite team all 3 weeks. When the Browns won, I actually picked the Steelers that week, and then last week I picked the Ravens, and the Steelers won. So I have a moral obligation here as a Steelers fan to pick the Houston Texans to win this game, to give the Steelers their best chance. So it's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Texans to win to give my Steelers a shot at winning this game. And I think they can. But they really got to show up, and they can't continue previous year's streaks of allowing the opposing team to score 2 or 3 times before they get into the game, because that's what's been happening for them in previous playoff games. So we'll see what they do, but I'm taking the Texans to give my Steelers a shot.
Nikki.
You know what? I'm going to go with the Texans this one. This could be a close game. If you're a fan of those lower scoring, coming down to the wire competitive games, this game would be the game for you out of all of them. I do so. But as far as the game goes, it's hard to pick the Steelers because they're inconsistent. It usually depends on who they're playing, the time the game's played at, and what type of mood Aaron Rodgers is in going into the game. I don't know, Monday night in prime time, it's at home, so they got that advantage there. And the weather's probably leaning more in the Steelers' favor, so that could be a factor against the Texans, who are used to playing mostly indoors, and they don't really see a lot of cold weather, so that could be an advantage for the Steelers too. So I still think, though, the Texans they're going to take that momentum they built and bring it into the playoffs, but it's going to be a close game at the end of the day. I see the Texans escaping with a win, but in a close fashion.
So for me, I got the Texans winning on this one because the Texans have been on a roll as of late. What was it, like 9 in a row?
Yeah.
Or something like that. So I'm going with the team that has some momentum right now. And yes, the Steelers' momentum is high after the Ravens missed that kick. So I am still going to go with the Texans, though. And also, the Packers lost. Their first round pick goes to the Cowboys. I just realized that. So the Cowboys get the 12th and the 20th pick. I just found that out. I'm like, oh, wow. I wonder what Jerry's going to do with them. Trade it?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Pretty much. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for the NFL Sunday morning show. Bo, what you got, man?
Just the, we're back in the full swing of everything, right? All the holiday stuff is done. So we're back to our normal daily show. You can see me on my channel at Football-Talk. And of course, Roku and 97.3 ICU Radio. And of course, with these guys every Sunday morning.
All right. Sounds good. James.
Recap show will be Tuesday this week. Obviously can't do it Monday during the game. So we'll do that. And then, depends on what happens and how that turns out once the Steelers are eliminated from the playoffs, when that does happen. If it happens, I got to say that, I guess, can't be completely pessimistic here. Then we'll go to once a week on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm. Have you thought about going live for the game at all? Have you thought about that or no?
I did that with a previous network and I hated it, to be honest.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Why'd you hate it? I'm just curious.
It was a lack of interaction from people. It was like for 3 hours straight.
Got you. Okay. Nikki.
We got coming up Tuesday's the big live day. We got the 3-point blitz at noon, episode 43. And then at night, we got Pick'ems divisional round edition with me and Agent Warrior X on the Hardcore Sports Network, possibly our respective channels as well. That's coming up Tuesday. Outside of that, we got some YouTube shorts, maybe an impromptu live stream.
All right. That sounds good. And as for me, I'll be live for the Eagles game today at 4:30 with Cool Cat Connor. Make sure you guys join us for that game. The smoke detector will go off. He still hasn't turned his smoke detector off. It's been years. So it's like all you hear is a beep, beep, beep. And we're all just like clowning it. Oh my God, it's so funny. With that being said, make sure you subscribe to the Hardcore Sports Network and subscribe to our gaming channel as well, Hardcore Play and Rewind. We're actually one subscriber away from 100, so make sure you subscribe there as well. With that being said, guys, we'll catch you all next week. Enjoy your Sunday and Monday Night Football. See you guys, and everyone have a good one, and peace.